What is going on, YouTubeverse? John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, bringing you another Top 5 on this glorious Top 5 Friday, and I could not be more excited than to be talking to you about the year 1970 and my personal favorite Top 5 favorite songs of that year. Now, this was extremely hard to whittle down because, as I've mentioned in the past, the 70s are my favorite decade in all of music history, and 1970 may just have been the greatest year of that decade. So there were so many things I had to leave off the list, but this is the cream of the crop, guys. Let's get right to it. At number 5, Signed, Sealed, Delivered, I'm Yours by Stevie Wonder. Man, what an awesome song. And kicking off into the 70s, Stevie had already made a name for himself with several hits from the 60s in the Motown era. And this was him kind of still in that vibe. But this song to me just has so much character to it, with the background vocalist, with that really cool walking down bass line and that sitar sound in the background. There's so much going on and to appreciate, and it's just pure joy in Stevie's voice and in his delivery, in the lyrics. It's just such a fun, uplifting song that you can't help be in a good mood when you listen to it, and that is at my number 5. So now, folks, at number 4,
been a long time that I'm waiting.
Northern Sky by Nick Drake. For those of you who do not know Nick Drake, stop right now and go listen to him immediately. This song off of the album Brighter Later is just gorgeous. It is like the best of any folk music of that era. Take your Cat Stevens, your Van Morrison, your Elton John, you put it in a blender and you have this voice unlike any artist you've ever heard before, that's very angelic, and the music follows suit. It has just this it almost feels like you're flying or gliding when you hear this song. I just love it and can't get enough of it. Anytime I hear it, I'm just like, yes, this is what music is all about. So that is at my number 4. Now at number 3, Since I've Been Loving You by Led Zeppelin. Of course, had to have a Zeppelin track on here, and from their great album of that year, Led Zeppelin 3, this is the highlight on there. I mean, talk about a blues jam masterpiece. 7+ minutes of the song. It just builds and grows. Jimmy Page with the riff master comes in with this really cool, it almost sounds like a song that you've heard before, but then it's so original at the same time. And of course, Robert Plant with his achingly oh man, he was the greatest vocalist of all time. And of course, really, all of the guys in Zeppelin were the best at what they did. Bonham was the greatest drummer ever. John Paul Jones, arguably the best bassist, and certainly one of the greatest multi-instrumentalists. And Page, just incredible. What a song. So that is at number 3. Now at number 2, Isn't It a Pity by George Harrison. George going out on his own with All Things Must Pass, a double album of all double albums. That was just all this music he had stored up over the past few years with the Beatles that they weren't really letting him release. And what an amazing album. And this song is just incredible. It just, it has such a powerful message, such a simple one. Isn't it a pity how we treat each other in the world, that there's not enough love out there in the world. And man, the way that if you didn't get to see Concert for George a few years after his passing, where Eric Clapton and all these greats got together to honor him, to see Billy Preston and Eric Clapton perform this song to a standing ovation, it just gives you goosebumps. It's that kind of song that it has more meaning than just the music. It's spiritual, and it really, to me, all the Beatles started going their own ways in 1970, and Harrison was just off to a bang, even higher than Lennon and McCartney, in my humble opinion. But that is my number 2. Now at number 1. Let it be, let it be, let it be. Let It Be. Speaking of the Beatles, I mean, come on, man. How great do you have to be as a band to have broken up? You went out with your swan song, Abbey Road, and then as your final release, you come out with these songs that you thought were just kind of thrown away from a studio session a year prior. But you had Let It Be, Across the Universe, I've Got a Feeling, just so many amazing tracks. And Let It Be ends up being one of the Beatles' greatest songs of all time. I mean, talk about spiritual. The lyrics of this song are just, it'll put anyone at ease. There's like a peace that comes when you listen to this song that's like the peace that passes all understanding, and McCartney's lyrics about Mother Mary calls to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. What an amazing melody. The Beatles were just the best at everything they did. Man, what a run from 1963 to 1970, and to go out with this kind of just beautiful, gorgeous track. Man, what better song can there be in 1970? So that's my top 5, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to see your top 5. If you're so bold, leave me a top 10, because there's, as I said, so many amazing songs that I left off the list. I didn't put anything from Tumbleweed Connection or Band of Gypsies or, man, the list goes on and on. Santana, Cat Stevens, Elton John. I mean, so many great tracks from that year. So guys, let me know what you think, and thank you. And as always, Viva la Vinyl. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and be sure to ring the bell for notifications so you can always see great quality content like you're seeing on the screen right now. Thank you so much for supporting Johnny Radio, and I'll see you soon.